Hi. So, it's been a long while since I last uploaded a video on here. Almost 4 years, I think. I've been on the fence for a while about uploading more videos, being busy with school and work and everything, but at this point, it's 2025. I'm gonna try to be kinder to myself and my art this year. I've spent so long as a perfectionist, constantly focusing on every mistake of mine to the point of indecision, so I feel like I need to go ahead and nip this in the bud.
It's either give this a shot now, or keep dwelling what ifs for the rest of my life. To start, I'm gonna need to do a bit of housekeeping here. As it is now, this channel is admittedly kinda...
empty.
Not to mention, my current appearance is a little boring.
One sec. Well, what do you think? Pretty cool, right? Okay, we're all good now. Let's get started. For this channel customization session, I plan to get 3 things done in this video. A channel banner, a channel icon, and a portfolio pic. Now, I know one of these things is not like the others, however, it sort of ties into one of the side quests I have for my channel. During the course of this channel's lifespan, I hope to make a few pieces for my portfolio that align more with my current art style. For the last couple of years, I feel like I've never had time to draw, so hopefully this will push me to complete more stuff. Forgive me, but this one is a little different than the ones you'll see later in the video. I tend to use a lot of color when it comes to my drawings, which I did intend to do for the banner, but honestly, I got a little too invested in messing with the values, and by the end, I just preferred the grayscale version. The idea for this sparked from something pretty ordinary. You know the phrase, a light bulb goes off in one's head? Where it represents a moment of inspiration or understanding? That felt like the perfect subject for the banner. But I didn't really want to draw a lone light bulb. That's a little boring, but the personalization for me comes from the method in which the light bulb is being turned on in the illustration. In my childhood bedroom, the light switch doesn't work anymore. It's not properly aligned in the wall, so it can't flick all the way to close the circuit anymore. So now, if I want to turn on the lights, I have to reach up and pull the cord attached to the light directly. As mundane as it is, I think it's a really good representation of the artistic process. Or at least mine in particular. Taking my creativity into my own hands and illuminating the contents of my imagination. As for the filament, I went through a bunch of ideas. A regular, squiggly filament shape, a star, a heart, etc., but none of those really felt right to me. In the end, I decided to make the filament shape a butterfly. I've had a bit of a new appreciation for the insect recently. Finally starting up this channel again feels like the start of something new in my life. A moment for change and personal growth, just like a butterfly's metamorphosis. Like a new era is about to begin, and I guess I wanted this piece to represent that. A little cheesy, I know, but I think it's rather fitting in a way. It's like it's igniting a little spark of hope. Or maybe I'm just hungry, I don't know. At some point, I've been staring at my screen long enough that I started seeing colors that I had definitely not put there myself, so I figured it was time to stop. I absolutely adore how this banner came out. I was able to experiment a lot with my shading style and try out some things I don't usually do in my regular art process, so I'd like to consider this an overall success. On to the next piece. Just kidding. Let me actually do something fun. Right off the bat, I knew I wanted my persona to be the icon rather than the symbol. You know, I've spent so long redesigning her over and over again, so I kind of want to show her off a little, you know? Since it'll be a close-up, I wanted to have her hands framing her face in some sort of way. Originally, she was going to reach forward and grab the camera, kind of like how they do in the opening for Ed, Edd n Eddy, but I ended up switching that out for simple camera fingers, mostly because I couldn't figure out how to make the camera grabbing as readable. It didn't really matter in the end since the hands were going to be blurred anyway, but you know. Now, as for the profound and complex meaning behind this drawing, I've got nothing. I'd love to say there's always a grand reason behind my artistic choices, but honestly, this was just a vibe. Sometimes you just gotta turn your brain off for a minute and make something cute. I want something light and bouncy to provide a little bit of contrast to the achromatic nature of the banner. I admittedly tend to get overly excited about the media I love, so the icon is true to my essence. Though after finishing the thing, I'm still unsure if I should have just gone ahead with the cropping of the light bulb idea, but I'm already in it. It's been a long time since I've dedicated something to only being an icon, so it was honestly freeing not to worry too much about the details. Seeing as how it's not meant to be seen up close, all the little nitpicks I tend to do with my stuff was pushed to the wayside in this instance, making this process a whole lot faster. You know, bit of a random thought, but the blue background distinctly reminds me of the song Marshall Maximizer. Completely unintentional on my part, but now I can't unsee it, and I'm making it your problem too. Demon Core incidents aside, I think we're just about done here. I thought the face looked a little crooked, so I ended up going back and adjusting it a bit, so I think it looks a little better now. Alright, we got one more left. The way I had a sketch for this floating in my mind for almost a year now, only for the final piece to look nothing like the original idea. Oh my goodness, please bear with my pathetic excuse for perspective. Believe me when I say I struggled with it, and it still came out subpar. Do you see all of those guidelines? I was fighting for my life. I just had to force myself to get it done, no matter how much I wanted to tear my hair out when doing so. See, this is what I get for trying to be extra and go outside my comfort zone or whatever. I wanted a melancholic feel for this last one. I've been in a bit of a weird emotional limbo with my art for the past few years. I haven't been able to finish a lot of the pieces I started, whether it be because of a loss of interest or maybe just a lack of time in general. It's been kind of depressing going through my art folder and seeing a bunch of unfinished ideas that will probably never see the light of day. And it's really my own fault with the whole crippling perfection thing I mentioned earlier. There were so many past and new ideas floating around in my head, to the point that it's almost overwhelming at times. So I figured I might as well bundle all those uncomfortable feelings and attempt to put it on a canvas. So the idea I ended up going with is my persona sitting alone. The water around her is shallow, but it seems to go on for miles. Sheets of paper flutter down from the sky, but she seems not to notice. If anything, she's reaching up towards the sky, mesmerized by something in the distance beyond the viewer. The question is, what is she looking at? Restless feelings aside, I'll take a chance to talk more about what I actually plan to do with this channel in the meantime. I don't want to confine myself to a single type of content, so it'll be a little bit of everything, I think. So illustrations, character designs, art challenges, comics, really anything that interests me, I guess, and maybe a couple big projects snuck in every now and then. I'll probably do more fan art than anything, but I do want to create more original stuff as well. I don't really have too many expectations for this channel in the long run. I'm pretty awful at the whole social media thing, so this channel will essentially be the training ground for some attempt of consistency from me. I plan to post at least 12 videos this year, one for every month. Let's ignore the fact that I've technically missed January, but I promise I'll make it up later in the year. At the end of the day, my goal is to just draw to my heart's content, and hopefully my art will reach someone and resonate with them as well. And with that, the portfolio piece is finally done. I think I could have pushed the perspective a little bit more, but at least it's finished, so I can't be too mad at myself. Thank you so much for watching. If you managed to make it all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. This entire video was meant to come out in February, but the universe decided to knock me out with a cold that frankly came out of nowhere. Luckily, I'm all good now, and I've finally gotten over the hurdle of posting the first video, or at least the first video back. I have a bunch of ideas I want to share with you all, so I hope you'll stick around for a bit. And let's see where we can go from here. Alright, that's all from me. Bye-bye.